got here. We might as well start with the pièce de résistance, the balga, and that one. See these needles here? They come out and are used to create fire. So you can smoulder those and they catch light. And you might have seen the big tall flower spikes. They are used for spears. And the flowers themselves can be taken off and soaked in water to create a sweet drink as well. And next to that, which is very small at the moment, but that will grow very huge. That's macrozania. The Nyungar name for that is jiriji. And you can actually eat the seeds of that, which are actually start out poisonous. But if the Nyungar people used to place them in a stream, and the stream used to leach the poisons out over a number of days, and so those can be grounded up to make like a meal. Then we've got this little one here. That is a solia. I don't know its Nyungar name, unfortunately. There are gaps that we have realised that there are in the knowledge of what the uses of these plants are. And so one of the projects that will be ongoing is the bringing together of that knowledge by talking to local elders and contacting the Southwest Aboriginal Land and Sea Council and Kings Park and just collating the information. So the solia, the seed pods are used for that one. They're like a soft mushy seed that are about 1 inch long. And so that's what that one's for. This one here is the pig face. That's its common name. Vein is its Nyungar name. It's like a low ground cover. It goes crazy once it gets going. So we'll probably have to keep that one quite well trimmed. And that one, it produces like a big fleshy fruit from nice bright pink and yellow flowers. And the fruit contains a juicy white centre containing pulp and seeds that's been compared to like a zucchini. So the fruit will be eaten fresh or dried. And the juice of the leaves, it's quite almost like a succulent cactus that can be used to treat burns or stings. And this little one here, there's a few things in the garden. That's the flax lily. And let me just find that in my notes here. That one, the fruit, it produces like a small purple berry, and the fruit can be eaten raw. The roots can also be pounded and roasted on hot rocks. And the fibre in the leaves is quite strong and silky, and that can be used to weave baskets. And let's see, what else have we got here? This little tiny one over here, which you might have to move
In here?
Yeah. There it is.
Oh.
Baby one at the moment, but that's a really beautiful, soft, almost furry brown colour. It produces little red berries, and its fruits are really popular with the birds, and they can be used for making red dye. Do you recognise another It's a berry saltbush, and that produces irritable berries. I'm yet to see the colour of that one, but those berries are edible. And this is a native spinach, and its leaves can be steamed and eaten, or just eaten raw in a salad. But it is similar to the Western style spinach in that it's got a lot of oxalic acid in it, so it's best not to eat too much of it raw and just lightly steam it. Apparently delicious. It's not quite big enough for it, but once it is, I'm sure that one will get used a lot. Now, what else have we got here? Oh, just the one. Where is it? Oh, the one just behind you. That's a little banksia, which is like a small bush type banksia, and its flowers are soaked in water to produce almost like a cordial. Very beautiful.
Which Banksia is that?
Banksia nivea, that's its Latin name. Yeah, often called the couch honeypot. Yeah, and it produces really beautiful little banksia flowers that can be soaked in water. What else have we got here? This one here is Purbain in Yunga. It's a lepidosperma. Actually, no, this one's like a really thick, what would you call it, a sedge, with really quite thick, pronounced brown seeds. And that's got an edible root that you can dig up and cook. And the fibre in it is very, very strong. You can see how solid that is, and that can be used for rope making. So that's
another nivea.
Yeah, another nivea, and it's another little one with the berries are used for dye.
Yep.
And then there are some more around the periphery here. Some kangaroo paws over here.
Is that one there?
That's the same
That's
as
that
that one.
sedge.
Yeah, the sedge, and then this one's the flax lily with the little purple seeds. Yeah. And then over here we've got the kangaroo paws. And these aren't used so much for food, but they're more just like a signature plant.
Yeah.
And you can roll cat's paws as well, which similarly
What's the other one?
This is cat's paws, and they produce like a little yellow flower. They're almost impossible to see at the moment because they're so tiny. This one's probably a little bit better. And they're, again, just beautiful looking, like a signature plant. And that's the Geraldine wax, which is, again, just more of a plant that the community wanted to have in the garden because it signifies living in this area.
Yeah.
So some signature plants. And then along here we've got a plant bush.
What are these ones?
Mudja.
Mudja.
Yeah, which is Nuxia floribunda in the Latin name.
Oh, that's the... Is that the
Christmas
Christmas tree?
Christmas tree,
Yeah, Christmas tree, yeah.
Which is a parasite, really, isn't it?
It is actually, yeah.
I've never been too clear on what it parasites.
It when it grows deep enough, it's why we planted it here is it taps into the roots of surrounding trees and actually cycles off some of their nutrients.
Right.
Yeah, beautiful orange flowers, or yellow orange flowers, and it's got a sweet sap. Which can create a sweet, and the flowers can be used to create a cordial. And the Nua ancestor spirits are said to inhabit this calendar plant. It's said to inhabit the tree, and it's also a calendar plant, signalling that when it flowers, it's time to move to the coast.
Ah,
This
okay,
time of year
November,
yeah,
December
it's time to
time,
go.
Christmas,
Down to the bush. So sort of seasonal signifying plants as well. We haven't even got a tulip. They will grow huge.
Our magnificent tree, sure.
Yeah, beautiful. Let me just grab. And that one, slabs of bark are often taken off the growing tulips to make containers, shields and temporary shelters. So wherever you see some of those rounded sections taken out of the barks of some of the really old trees, that's often used for those purposes. And over here we've got a jam tree, and Mangard in Yunga, it's a Yunga name. And that one's got an edible gum.
Yep.
And the seeds are used to make flour for damper. And it provides a dense, heavy timber, which is useful for throwing clubs and spear throwers as well.
So that's acacia, which one?
Acacia cuminata, or Mangard, the Yunga name. And over here we've got a Pulbacia, Pulgala, Inua. I hope I'm pronouncing this remote correctly. And that's the Banksia grandis. So the really, really, really big flowers, which have a very sweet nectar, can be soaked in water and fermented to make a kind of alcoholic mead known as mangite or mungich. And the wood is used as a fire transport stick from one camp to the next, so it's very significant in that way, in that it was the fire carrier.
Yep.
And the cones were gathered to collect the grubs that burrow inside of them.
So there's a bit of watering to be done for the first summer. That's being
definitely
anticipated?
for the first,
Yeah.
maybe even 2 summers.
Yeah.
But they...
Hi, Sharon.
Hi. Yeah, how you going?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, we just sort of pretty much reached the end, I'm afraid, but yeah, this is the bull banksia, which is or pulgala in Yuma, and that's got a sweet nectar producing flower, which when soaked in water and fermented can make a type of alcoholic mead. Known as mangite or mungich, so that's one to watch.
You have a few of these around your place, would you, Sharon?
Yeah.
I'd like to think they're native to my area, or indigenous. No, I don't have any of them on the block.
Oh, you've got a block?
Oh, just an acre up in the hills, actually.
wow.
So, but it's very hard rock surface. So.
Right.
It is amazing.
Anything to grow.
Grandis Banksia does manage to grow on the coastal plain and on the laterite as well.
Up in the hills, yeah. Right. Yeah, hardy.
I have a friend who always reckons it's the sort of lungs or the canary of the native bush.
Yes,
is any of the Banksias.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, that would be right in the sense of all of the dieback.
That's right.
In a
They're
sense.
quite susceptible to dieback, so yeah, if it's there, it'll show in.
Yeah, they're usually the first to go. I live around Bibra Lake, and so I've noticed that the Banksias are really being hit hard.
Yep.
Yeah, with dieback at the moment.
We had some beautiful ones near Perth Airport before they did all the construction and clearing for the brickworks. And you know, with huge displays as you went down Calamunda Road, and I've noticed this year they're just starting to look a bit dead around the edges.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's sad. It's the black cockatoo's favourite.
Yeah.
And of course we got some red gums.
Sorry?
Red gums.
These are actually marri, which are you call them red gums because of the bleeding.
Yep.
The bleeding trunks, yeah. So the marri, the gum is antiseptic and is used on wounds and as a diarrhea cure. And the flowers also produce nectar, which is drunk when it's soaked in water.
Corumbia carafilla, I think it is. Is that the? They changed the botanical. Corumbia calophilia. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you used to be the director of the Cons Council?
Yeah.
They're
So
probably
I know a few
harking
cheese
back
and
from
things.
the
Yeah.
old days.
Oh yeah. Don't get to use any of that stuff. Not so much. So
No, not so much in Parliament.
Not
no.
at all, eh? It's a shame, I think.
Oh, I try and bring it in. Don't worry.
Yeah, just slip an old colour.
But the garden out the front of Parliament House is beautiful,
It
isn't it?
is. It's fantastic. In our Stateline, yeah, we've got some really good native plants there, and representation from different regions as well.
okay.
A bit like at Kings Park, they've got sort of all those Southwest Mallee region, the Kwongan, and Kimberley, of course, and it's really well done.
Yeah, right. This is Jason, who was on Australian Idol.
Oh, he was on Australian Idol.
He was on Australian Idol.
I wasn't sure if he was
I
on.
think he made it to the top.
Thought it was recording.
No, he's live. I think he made it to the top 50 or something, which is still really significant, considering how many thousands of people would have applied.
It's got a great relaxed style. And
Yeah, it's perfect for an afternoon.
Well, he had the mayor tapping her feet.
Doesn't take much to get old when tapping a
With Reba, huh? I hope you